So I want to talk a little bit about personal space. Something I see a lot at clinics is horses that basically have zero respect for a human's personal space. Now, I always find that a little amusing because if you're walking down the street and you ran into somebody you knew and they basically stood on your toes and put their nose right up to your face, you wouldn't be very comfortable about that. So I can never understand how people can let a 400, 500, 600 kilo animal stand here, and Jerry thinks that this is not a cool idea, stand like here in their face and not feel in any way threatened or intimidated by it. You know, at the end of the day, no matter how trained your horse is, no matter how much work you do with them, they are an unpredictable animal. So, you know, if something is going to startle Jericho now, I would rather know that he has time to step around me than just come straight over me. And that is the other thing with your personal space issues, is that if you have a horse that thinks it is okay to come up here and step on top into your space, then that horse probably isn't going to think a big heap about coming over you to get away from something that scares it. So if you think about horses in their natural environment, and by that I mean the herd environment, there's always an alpha horse. You know, there's always the horse that is the leader, and then they have their pecking order all the way down. And that pecking order seldom changes unless you add extra horses into the mix. So what happens is, if you have 6 horses and you put one piece of hay out, okay, the boss horse of the herd will go and eat from that piece of hay. And all the others might stand around, but I will guarantee you they will stand back at a space while that horse eats. Now, if they step in to that horse's space while he is eating, chances are he's going to flatten his ears or lift a hind leg or give a warning that says, get out of my space. If a horse was still to try and get to that hay, the alpha horse is likely to then increase the pressure to the point where they may kick or bite or something like that. So this is the thing. We're trying to train our horses, okay? We're trying to teach our horses to do things, to work with us so that we can all go out and have a heap of fun. So if we have a little issue about who that makes doing all of that stuff harder. So if he thinks it is constantly okay to stand on top of me, and therefore when something happens or when he wants to keep moving, to push me out of the road, Jericho thinks that he is in charge and I am secondary to the operation. So therefore, if that's how things happen between you and your horse still, when you actually go to do something, or you go to ride, or you do groundwork, or you go on a trail ride, or even if you go to catch them in the yard, how do you protect you? It's a bit like kids. You know, you can't let kids grow up running around, doing whatever they want, having no discipline, and then when they're 6 years old or 5 years old and they have to go to school, then you suddenly say, okay, these are the rules. You have to get up at this time, you have to get dressed, you have to do your hair, do your teeth, have your breakfast, you have to go to school, you pick you up, you come home, you have to do this. You can't just suddenly change tack. Okay, so we need to be consistent with our horses all the time. If you have a horse that constantly wants to stand on you and potentially push you out of the road, don't be surprised when you then go do groundwork with that horse and that horse is basically not interested in operating with you and has very little respect for you. This is a basic start to respect. And you can see the whole time I've been talking, Jericho has stood where I have left him. Okay, this is really cool. And that's what I would expect of my horses. If I want to walk up and give him a pat, that's kind of cool. But if I don't want him in my space, he knows to stay there. And you can see there's a release. His head's low. He's not particularly stressed about the situation. So just a little food for thought about what you do with your horses when you're actually trying to do things.